They're not just the bane of every low-level horde, or pigs with spears. The Quillboar are one of Azeroth's first victims, an empire that was raised by the blood of their own god, just to be crumbled because some sentient cows wanted some legroom. This is the untold story of the Bristlebats, from ruling Kalimdor to their holy war against the Horde, and the shocking truth about why they really hate the Tauren. So long ago, before the Sundering, the great boar god Agamaggan roamed Kalimdor, his thorned hide dripping with primordial power. Now, when the Legion invaded, rallied by Cenarius, he charged into battle, stomping enemies and belching acid onto demons. He was one of the most powerful beings on the battlefield, only to be slain by Sargeras' lieutenants. But his death wasn't the end, it was a vessel. Where Agamaggan's blood soaked the earth, giant thorns ripped through the floor. The first Quillboar arose here, not as beasts, but as a proud civilization. Their capital was Razorfen Downs, built atop his still beating heart. Now, just a quick look at how big this blood splatter was. This is the map of all the Quillboar settlements. It spans 3 zones, and 4 if you include Cataclysm's split between North and South Barrens, but this is really to show how big the Empire was before the Tauren interference and the Horde's decimation. For centuries, the Quillboar dominated the Barrens, until the Tauren arrived, migrating across Kalimdor to found Thunderbluff. The other residents nearby, the Kaldori, called it shared land, but the Quillboar called it theft. Why? Because Agamaggan's bones stretched deep beneath every inch of these sacred plains, and these lumbering beasts had just moved in on top of them. Their holy sites became horde settlements, their blood rituals were branded savagery, and when the Tauren allied with the Orcs, that was the final insult. Today, every bristleback raid is a prayer. Return our god's land. Where we see them as free XP, there's actually quite a deep story here about how they came to be and our influence on their demise. Now, strangely enough as well, the Quillboar have been one of the most consistent aspects of Azeroth. From Warcraft 3 to WoW, every integration of the Quillboar have been solidified and committed to. They're the only race I currently can't find any cut content on. But, except one thing, and unfortunately it produces more questions than it has answers. It is an untextured model in the game files tagged Quillboar Piñata. I'll show it here. Side on, especially because it's untextured and it's pretty difficult to make out the shapes. But I do wonder, is it a null? Or is it a Quillboar? I mean, if it is a null, there is an unwritten chapter of a war between them because I haven't seen any iteration where they have met. But you'll see the tree where it's found is under the Orcs, so this was meant to be in the Barrens, as all of the Barren models are found under the Orcs. But please do let me know what you think in the comments, because this is fascinating. Of course, today the Quillboar are losing. The Horde controls their sacred sites, and their young trade blood rituals for the Bilgewater guns. There are also many, many images in Quillboar caves of Quillboar versus Harpies, Quillboar versus Centaur. And with the Tauren to thank for the Centaur, we'll just add it to the list of why Quillboars despise their counterparts. Sorry. But they don't need our sympathy, they need vengeance. For stolen land, for a butchered god, for being called trash mobs. When they're actually Kalimdor's original lords. Next time you cross the Barrens, listen for the heartbeat under your feet. Thank you so much for watching. I will probably be doing the Centaur next video, as I was doing a bit of extra research while I was doing this one, and I would actually love to cover that. So please do stay tuned. Of course, the next power episode is going to be on the monks, so do stay tuned for that as well. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day.